June 5th, Economic Development Committee.
Sure, I can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was expecting Larissa to be
Larissa,
here.
yeah, she said she was gonna be here.
But there's one more person. No, whatever, let's get started. So, I'll just read through the minutes quick since I just sent them out. Oh, Mark was the other person. I want to get out of here, not too late. So we went over, so we voted on the 11 members, we voted the 3 new people in. We approved the direction on the town common. Actually, so I didn't forward it to everybody. We did get a couple of letters of people thinking that we overstepped our bounds, which...
Oh, yeah, I saw it, yeah.
But whatever. Not everybody's gonna like everything. We discussed the annual business breakfast, which went well. I'll go over that after. Banner brackets, brochure.
We actually, we discussed the banner brackets, but we also approved the budgeting and buying of them also at that meeting,
Okay,
just so you know.
yeah.
We didn't determine what the number was gonna be, but we just,
Yeah.
it was like we were just killing
Okay.
it, so we just wanted to just get it off.
Okay, I'll have that update.
Okay.
Brochure updates. We talked about that. Website update. We set a subcommittee. Welcome sign update. Just current business, new business. So maybe I'll send that update. I'll see Erica on Wednesday. So I guess just the motion to approve. Well,
Move.
so move second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Oh, Larissa, you have to sit up though.
It's like right here, right now.
Everybody has to sit
Step
up.
right, sit at the table.
Alright. So we're officially in a new year, so we have to vote chairman and vice chairman. If you guys would have me, I wouldn't mind doing chairman again.
Thank God, because I don't want to. I just don't, because, I'm just telling you, because the amount of political stuff that goes back and forth that you take care of, where you find the time on.
Well, you're starting to get on the emails now, so.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't even respond, I just want to do stuff. I mean, and it's something he
There's
takes
a lot of
care of.
emails.
I'm telling you, God bless him, because I'm glad he stepped up, because I don't want it.
So, I'm gonna need a motion, I guess.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, so that was. Dan, you seconded? No. Well, did you want to be vice chairman, or does anybody want to be vice chairman again?
I can be vice chair, I'm fine with
Okay,
that.
well, I'll make a motion for Rick as vice chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
I'm fine with that. I just don't want his job.
What do they say, a heartbeat away though, or?
It's not coming?
Take the head of it.
Yeah.
Colleen's not, she's not coming. Colleen's not coming, Liz not coming, Erica is on finishing her vacation, so. Alright, so what do we got here?
For winter vacation.
Yeah. Yes, so the April business breakfast debrief, I think a bunch of us were here. I think it went really great. The speakers were good, Peter was great, Paul Matthews was good, and then I really enjoyed the tour of Cobham after. It was in much better shape than I thought. You know, I was expecting it to be fairly run down, but it looked pretty good. Good, you know. And talking to Paul Matthews, he's actually building up a list of 40,000 to 60,000 square foot buildings in the area, so that was a pretty good connection for that Mark Gilmore with him. So I think there were a lot of conversations at the breakfast, and I think it went pretty well.
How many people were there? I'm sorry.
It was like 40,
Oh,
40 or
that's a
so.
nice turnout.
It was a
Yeah.
really nice number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good turnout.
Yeah, and yeah, Paragon was really good. We did it in that cafeteria.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
not too much more to say. So that was our fourth one. I do think it really promotes kind of discussion between businesses, and there was a good mix of couple of in-home businesses, smaller businesses, and then we had, I forget the CFO of Headwall, which is a new company in Bolton Office Park.
Is that the one that recently moved in?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they do like fiber optic stuff.
Okay.
We had Mark Gilmore, who's, I forget his exact title, but he's in charge of all the facilities worldwide for Cobham. And then he's the CEO of Paragon was there, I'm forgetting his name now.
Yeah.
Prefontaine.
Now, just to clarify, is Paragon also leaving town, or no planning on staying? Okay, then I got confused with Corbin then, okay.
Yeah, just Cobham.
Because I had no idea how big of a presence they had there until you pull around back. And I thought,
They're not going anywhere, they got way too much stuff there.
yeah, I mean, the building's enormous. You don't even think,
The building is enormous.
So we went
I didn't
to,
even think, had no idea it was that large.
so we went to the manufacturing.
How much of it do they occupy?
I think 60,000.
No, more than that, 240.
Yeah, I think like 60,000's available.
Like, you haven't seen their
Yeah.
operation? Oh my
No.
god.
Yeah.
The building's 300,000 square feet?
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That's bigger
Um,
than I thought.
You know, it's,
Yeah, drive around it. It's like,
I was gonna post a picture on,
Yeah.
on Destination Bolton. I took a couple pictures of the manufacturing floor.
Yeah.
It's huge. I wanted to post a picture and say, what town do you think this is in? Because you would
How many
never know.
employees do they have?
Huh?
How many employees do they have?
Employees, there's like 300.
In that
and the funny
location?
thing about it is when you look at it from the front of the front of the road, it looks like a warehouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
But when you drive around back, it's an office building.
Yeah.
Like a nice one.
Yeah.
But you had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to post a picture.
It is misleading because the front
It's-
parking
it's-
lot doesn't usually.
It's always
fill.
empty.
Yeah.
You just think there's always cars there, but nowhere near the amount on the other side.
Right.
Yeah, so I was thinking about posting the picture and just saying, what town do you think this is in? And then being like, you know, you can have business in Bolton and not have it
We should do a
impact.
story about them too,
Yeah.
just so
Yeah,
it's out there.
His biggest complaint is the 117 traffic.
Yeah.
They brought that up. Yeah.
And he was pretty adamant about it.
Yeah.
It's everybody's biggest concern.
Well, but for him especially, it keeps employees away.
Oh,
It
I
makes
would
it
imagine.
hard to
Especially if they're coming
It's
from.
a half an hour
Yes.
ride to
Yeah.
go, a mile and a
Yes.
half.
Yeah.
That's
He
exactly
said,
what he said.
coming in is no problem, he says going out it's a half an hour, 40 minutes, they say sometimes an hour to get to the
So
highway.
people rushing out to get to Little League games or, you know.
And there's
get
no
the
way
kids.
around it because there's no.
Right.
Well,
And
there was a proposal a couple of years ago, wasn't there?
Yes.
The DEP, Department of Public
Yeah.
Works, DPW was actually proposing
take over the road.
taking over the road, but we
Yeah.
shot it down. So
shut it down.
there was our answer right there.
Yeah.
But we shot it down, so.
Yeah, so he was actually saying, you know, because you might have more insight into this, the realtors that go all the way back to the mills, they know of the issues on 117 and kind of consider that where Paragon is and Cobham is and kind of a no-go kind of area because of the traffic to that.
Yeah, I mean, back in the 70s when digital was in its heyday at Maynard, traffic was worse.
Oh, really?
Not worse.
Hmm.
It was backed up consistently to the Stowe line every single night.
Hmm.
So the lights have actually helped, and I think the fact that they did widen by 495 interchange made it better. It's still bad though.
And Barry says they're still trying to work on the situation. And by the way, there's nothing you can do about that situation other than, as Barry said, get the traffic onto the highway quicker.
Right.
I mean,
Which,
the only-
by the way,
Yeah.
widening the road and doing that isn't, I mean, unless you're gonna put in a 4-lane road
Right.
and a double lane interchange, Barry said, you're not gonna get any more traffic.
Well, listen,
What is this?
in the city of Marlboro, they ask businesses to
To
stagger the
stagger
time.
dismissals, yeah.
Right, and
Like
that's
maybe they
the
have a
biggest
more flex
challenge.
schedule, like a 6 to
Right.
3 day instead of a
Right,
8
so
to
not
5.
5,000 people aren't leaving.
I
at the same
mentioned that to
time.
the CEO, I
A
mentioned
lot of
that to
people do
Mike.
that now.
Yeah,
I
stagger the
said,
time.
maybe how about a stagger shift? And he said, well, because of our shipping, because they ship out of there every day, I forget how many trucks worth of stuff that they pack up during the day. They have to have it all ready and done by a certain time,
Right.
and it makes it a problem. So, because they're shipping out every single day. He said, we walked through there at 10 a.m. and there was nothing going on. He said by noon when you come in here, it'll look like, you know, remember Boiler Room, the guy's throwing stuff and doing, he said it'll look like that in his sales room because he'll be going crazy with orders.
Yeah.
Just stuff going on the board, but it was like 9 a.m. and you could have heard a pin drop.
It hit,
And everybody's just cleaning up, getting ready, he said, for the next day. And he said, you come in here at noon, the place will be lit
Well,
on
so the
fire.
other issue with traffic is the center of town backing up to the highway. The only way to really fix that is a left-hand turning lane onto Wattaquadock, and I know that in
No,
both.
no, you could do no left turns between
Well, you can
4
do
and
that
6
too.
PM
Yeah,
on the
you can do
Wattaquadock,
that
and
as
force
well.
everybody all the way down to 110 or further down the road.
You could do that as well.
You'll, and that's an easy enough thing to do too, because the left-hand turning lane, you can't fit it really, it's
Yeah.
really difficult. I mean,
It is.
if you get it in
Well,
there, it's
right.
gonna be.
You're gonna
you
be
gotta
taking the
take
lawn,
parking.
you're gonna be taking people's yard,
Yeah.
front yards.
Whose house do you take? You gonna take Alice's or you gonna take the green one?
No, yeah.
You make the decision, so you gotta take one or the other.
But a no left-hand turn from 4 to 6,
4 to 6, they do it in many places,
yeah.
no left-hand turn,
I mean, that would really improve things.
make everybody.
What would those
shoot the
people
road.
on that side of that section of town
Go
do?
up to Wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next
Go
one up.
go up to
yeah.
Wilder
So
or
it'd
go up,
have to be no
you're gonna
left-hand
get
turn.
yourself another half a mile of space.
It would have to be no
You
left
know?
turn on Wattaquadock and on Manor Road.
Right.
So-
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 You'd have to do
Yeah.
both those.
Yeah.
So, you know, they do it on Wilder, send them all the way down past my house, all the way down to 110, teach them a lesson.
You're such a heartfelt guy.
Yeah.
Teach them a
I
lesson.
want them to all go by, then I'm gonna put up a toll.
It was your mistake to live where you chose to live.
I don't care.
Right, right.
I don't care if they go by my.
Apparently not.
Did the 117 committee discuss that?
Oh, we have a
Oh, yeah.
117 committee?
They discussed, no truck turning, period, ever on a Wattaquadock, no tractor
Right, that's-
trailers turning.
When we were in that
Yep.
building on the corner, I don't know how
And when
a
you say,
truck didn't wind up in the front.
No
when you say
tractor
truck,
trailers.
well, yeah, you'll force them to go the other way,
Yeah.
which is, what's that, 62?
So no truck turning coming off of Wattaquadock, because
Both
that
ways.
is the biggest.
Both
Yeah.
ways, they can't make it either
Because
way.
when
It's
they
not
go
wide
out to
enough.
go
Yeah.
around, they have to take.
It's not
all
wide
the-
enough for them, it wasn't
the
built
lane
for them,
going
send them
west.
all the way down to 110 where it was designed for them.
Yeah.
Make every road from there down, no truck traffic, no 18-wheeler traffic. That was one of the suggestions, that's in the report. And the other one was the other one's to put a traffic light at Manor, because we have the space up there for land takings, for left turn lanes and right turn lanes and things, where we could do more. We could do
Right.
more up
You-
at
you-
Manor without stealing
You could turn
taking
left, you can
somebody's
turn left there.
house or their.
Well, and also that needs to be addressed for Harvard Road. This is like,
And-
there's an accident
So
there.
Wattaquadock only solves one little
So
small
the-
problem, okay,
You know, Harvard-
which is
the
there
Harvard Manor
and there.
117. It's the next-
Harvard and Manor will solve crossing the town, which our town is divided, and that was mentioned in the report also, that the town is divided by the fact that 117 cuts off traffic from being able to cross the town easily. So by putting it at Harvard and
that.
Manor and one at Green and Forbush, you now will create ways to get across town for bicyclists, walkers, everybody, including cars,
Cars.
without killing themselves. And a number of accidents at Harvard and Manor that I've seen that have been bad T-bones
Oh, it's true.
and at Green are far, far worse than Wattaquadock.
I take
Wattaquadock, everybody mentions Wattaquadock is our worst. Wattaquadock is not our
It's
problem.
not
Our
most
problem
dangerous.
is Manor and Harvard,
Yeah.
and actually, really, Forbush and Green is our biggest
Yeah.
problem, unfortunately, because you're gonna get a high school kid killed
Because
Yeah.
in no time.
School,
It's
yeah.
only a matter
Yeah, I
of-
always come off Harvard onto
It
117.
is truly a public safety.
It is a huge public safety
You
issue.
don't have to worry about just about 117, which is dangerous, and you never know if that person from Manor is gonna be turning, or with it, do we go at the same time, or do I let them go, or it's very confusing.
Yeah, you've got high school Frogger going on
Yeah.
down at Green and Forbush, and I see it every day at 2 PM. They're all going across to get a pizza from Classic.
So where
Summers.
does the 117, so the 117 is pushing those issues, or you gave your report and that's it, you're
We
done?
gave our report and they sent us on our way.
Yeah, so who drives those
I
now?
know Tom Frame was trying to put a 117 committee task force together, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, just thinking
How's that
of,
different from what you guys did already?
that was going to be a task force to actually get the grants, do the work.
yeah,
So,
They were just coming up with-
I'll tell you, the committee was tasked with
Prioritization.
one thing. Take all the existing reports
Yeah.
and read them and spit them back to us. That's literally what we were tasked with. We were not allowed to go for grant money, we weren't allowed to come up with plans, we weren't allowed to solicit all of the community and get more information. We weren't allowed to hold do like the Common did with a charrette process and say, what do you think of these ideas? We weren't supposed to come up with any designs or anything like that, or anything really useful.
So where's
It was
Tom
really a
Crane's
waste of time.
suggestion now? Is it?
Is a committee that does that, is that comes up with the ideas, is
No, no, but
tasked.
where
with
is the
doing it.
process? Is it formed yet? Is it?
No.
No, it's just starting.
I know that he was putting a framework together. I heard it a couple of selectmen's meetings talked about. I have not heard it recently in the selectmen's meetings. I don't know where it is right now.
But not
So-
to digress, I'm
So as an EDC, just following along the path there, I think we need to take a position, right? I mean, we're hearing this from existing businesses that's going to.
Well,
I
relay the
think it's too
information.
early, yeah.
Relay the information at
Yeah.
least. What are you
Well,
gonna say?
isn't it, it's a multifactorial problem, though.
Yeah.
It's not just simply redesigning certain intersections. It's the state taking over the road, which then could potentially create.
No, the state, that has nothing to do with the state taking over the
That- We
road.
already passed.
That's already gone.
So
State's not
this,
coming back.
so what you guys are discussing further is just those intersections?
No, what was being discussed further was the town coming up with a way to solve the problems. And then go work with MassDOT on engineering and getting it approved and getting the grants.
Because you need to be approved, but, you know.
So there are grants out there, like Mass Work grants.
Oh, absolutely.
With
We never
what
go
I just
after.
heard from Paragon,
Yeah.
there's 300 jobs there.
Yeah, there is,
And Cobham, you know, it's gonna have
Sure.
potential.
nobody's doing the grant work, nobody's doing the heavy lifting, and so the point was get a group of citizens willing to do the heavy lifting, and there are a lot of citizens in town who have a lot of experience with this stuff, and get them involved in the task force, and kind of take it away and put it into a group to do it, rather than have 3 selectmen who are already busy enough.
So,
trying to do it.
not just those two, there's to the east of Cobham, there's I think 20 or 30 acres of industrial land. There's more industrial land behind Paragon, then you have the whole Kane property. So thinking about future development, you know, taking care of the traffic issue is.
Yeah,
a major
if you could take
concern.
care of the traffic issue and flow traffic
Yeah.
better down, and the, Barry Lorian's been out to Green Four-Bush a bunch of times, and that one there, they're talking about not really as much a, traffic light maybe, but a rotary maybe, roundabout maybe, would be a better solution for that
I think it'd
location,
be,
How we doing there? Agenda
you
area?
know, so,
I don't think we're gonna solve this traffic problem.
I think Roger's just like,
Your agenda's getting out early.
but, yeah, so they,
Okay.
yeah, so
It's all
there's
stuff we
been
can
work
talk
done
about.
on it, but
Yeah.
there's nobody doing any heavy lifting.
Okay.
That's the problem.
So, brochure update, we're done, amazingly enough.
finally.
This is not the final copy, of course.
This is, yeah, the final copy is the gloss.
Gloss.
The glossy, this isn't the glossy.
There's definitely lots of, you know, we can professionalize it up even more in the future, but this is version 1, year 1.
Version 1.0.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
yeah, so, don't find any mistakes, because,
It's gone to print.
Well, it was a lot of work just to get them completed, to get them to do it. It was just, when you do it with a high schooler, you realize, huh? It was a lot of work.
yeah. You know, we can play with colors, and I was talking to Erica Ewing of Ewing Photography, and she was saying that she would like to have some photos, so maybe in the future, we could put like photos or something in the background, fade it out, or we can do a bunch of stuff, but this is all the information we wanted, and it's accurate, so that's good. I've already had some people say that they want to be involved, that weren't involved, but I think what we tried to do is pick destination-type businesses.
Yep.
So-
I think it should say it's destination type businesses, because the
Yeah.
whole thought of it was a map for people who come into town. to
Yeah,
figure out
exactly.
what to do.
Exactly, you come to pick apples, and
Yeah.
what are we gonna do next?
Right,
Yeah,
Do we go to Hudson to eat, or is there a place to eat in town?
yeah.
exactly.
So we need to print it this month, so we can be in the 2017 budget. I tried to get a hold of those Bolton printing people, and the email bounced back. Are they still in business?
I don't know, maybe they're
So I'll
gone.
have Pam send it to you, because we use them sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good. The email that responded to you, I responded to him, and
It's gone.
it was gone. So I prefer to use them, and their price
I
was
mean,
cheaper.
their price was cheaper, and they were local also.
And they do a really nice job. We use them sometimes instead of the local record people.
So I got the original design that we don't really have the tool for, but if we don't go to them next year.
Right, we can give it to someone.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. You want, can you send me that too, so I have it for my,
I think you're on a copy.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah. But so this is it.
Yeah, that's great.
Got a Murphy Insurance logo on here.
Oh, awesome.
Just trying to cobble together logos, and I'm sure we missed some, but it is what it is now. Took you, like you said, there's a lot of back and forth. I should send the Word document.
My biggest concern was we'd be working with a school and it'd be a lot of hand holding, and it was.
Yeah.
More, a lot.
Like I'd say something and then they'd do it, and well, I'd see how they interpret it that way, but it's just, it was kind of like putting instructions into a computer and they're very literal. If you didn't give exact instructions, then.
Right.
So that's that. So we'll get it printed out this month and distributed over the summer. Website,
Can we use this as a segue to the website for my questions to the group?
sure.
So we have about 260 businesses on the listing that was provided. And, you know, the thought process on the website is to kind of highlight.
The EDC website.
EDC website, so is to highlight the, kind of the major businesses, but not to exclude anyone. So I'm trying to find what that balance is, and I kind of would like to get everyone's input as to, you know, I really would prefer not to just put a spreadsheet listing out there. I think it's tacky. Now, that being said, if we wanted to put a link out to a business listing, aside from our major businesses, maybe identified here, maybe some additional Main Street businesses that we want to include.
Cold Banker. Cold Banker.
Coldwell Banker.
Yeah.
So again, if the major businesses, put those on the website, and again, try to put as much information as possible, but then also a separate business listing with all of those 260 businesses on there that have contact information. Again, I'm trying to find
Yeah,
what's
my
the
only
balance.
concern, I think I told you in email was, Erica's already having a hard time maintaining our current list that we have today, and you're trying to get an updated list, and it's been a while for her she's been working on it for quite some time. Now we have two lists, now two areas where we need to maintain the content.
I
That
think-
makes me nervous.
Yeah, we definitely should go, like we said, just go with the main ones, go with.
Anyone that has like a main, like a
Storefront.
storefront
Yeah.
presence, I think is what we should do
Yeah.
on the EDC
And
website.
I think for those that we can get it, I think it's nice, the logos are nice, to put a link about
Oh,
the logos and
absolutely.
those things.
Yeah.
That's not too
but
hard. to-
I think when you guys talk to Lisa, she could explain it more. I'm not an expert in this area, but I believe it is kept in a database format, and then that information is taken and put in a pretty version in the WordPress. Maybe I know you've dealt with that a little bit, but it is kept in kind of a database format, and then the information's taken out of there. So it's not like you're writing HTML code or anything.
Go ahead.
I know where you two had worked on this so heavily with the businesses, and those businesses that felt like they were excluded, and that's what we're trying to find that happy balance, but.
I don't think any businesses felt like they were excluded. This was only really for retail businesses that somebody in town would want to come to and buy something at, essentially. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing else.
So how is the website different though? So why wouldn't we include all the businesses?
Well, I'm saying there were.
And I hear what Marissa's saying,
we couldn't
we
fit-
can't make it
Like, for
absurd,
instance-
but I don't want anybody to feel, we kind of represent all businesses.
Well, for instance,
So let's play with that idea. So why, if it was every business in town, so even someone who's running something out of their home and they work alone,
Yes.
do we gain or lose from having them on the site? I don't
No, it's
think
just
we
maintaining.
gain,
The
right?
problem is
So
the
it's part of a
maintenance.
message that
Right.
says, you can run your business here in Bolton. So if
Yeah.
the problem is maintenance, can we just find a way to make that easy? 'Cause I
It's
think
not easy.
What's your worst case
Keep up with her
scenario?
list here.
The worst case scenario would be, we get this long list, you go through a lot of work, and then, 2 years go by, and you've got to go back through and contact everybody, right? So,
That's what happens.
okay, so is there a way that we
So the
can put
the
the
important thing
control
though is
in their
that
hands?
the businesses
If you own a
that you're
business,
talking
you can
about,
control it? Is that possible?
if the businesses, like the 260 businesses, let's say 75 or 100 of them are home-based businesses,
Yeah.
and they think it's important, they don't want to be left out, they want to be on this list. Do we give them some responsibility to keep their stuff
Right,
up there?
right, exactly. So we'll
So-
update this every year, and if you respond
Right,
to
if
us,
you
you stay
respond,
on, and
fine.
if you don't, you come off, right? It's something that's
Yeah.
kind of automatic, where it's presumed that they'll come off unless they tell us, yep, that's still accurate.
Phone,
But then it's a mailing you
email.
send out every year.
No, it's an email.
It's
You do
electronic.
it electronic with an email, that's the way that
Yeah, we
Yelp
have we have a
and
business.
Google and all those guys do it with us. I mean, every
If your
year we have
information
to
has
renew
changed,
our-
let us know.
Right.
or
If your
thing.
business is gone, or
Yeah.
change name, or change address, or change anything, send us the info.
If you don't reply, they remove you off the map.
Yeah.
So I'm in agreement with that idea and with the listing. So on the current version of the website, there is the highlighted businesses, kind of our main street
That flows
places.
through.
That, and then there's an additional businesses bolted with a listing that could be, maintained as a nice page with all of the 260 businesses alphabetically or by category, however we decide to do it. Does that sound amicable to everyone?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the intention also is to have a blog, which I'll take responsibility for if it's okay, and do an interview once a month with a business, either by lottery or by request or whatever,
Well, that's
so.
what we do on the Facebook page, so.
Yeah, I mean, we can actually kind of do both.
There's no reason to keep it separate.
Yeah,
I mean, you could post it on both, it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
write the blog. What should happen is the blog should get written on the website, and then the blog should feed the
Yeah.
Facebook. There should be a
That's
blog.
something,
Yeah.
we're looking at Facebook as kind of a consumer thing, and we're looking at the website as more of a business oriented.
Well, I put stories too, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I think, we don't need to make it too complicated.
I read that.
So more of a.
Well, the stories that we do are about businesses, so it's one of the same
No, yeah.
essentially.
I put
So we
stuff
have to
in
do it, and yeah.
Yeah, but I think, it's fine if you want to put a story on there, that's fine, and then Facebook could just link to it, it doesn't
Well,
matter.
that was the idea, it would be
Yeah, yeah,
the same thing. What you
Yeah.
put on Facebook, if you do something once a month, then maybe we go to twice a month. But there's 260 businesses, right? And I'm talking about 300 or 400 or 500 words and a couple of.
that's what we do, I do that exact thing on Facebook
Okay,
though, yeah.
that's good. Now,
I mean, and so I don't know if you looked when new businesses come in, we do exactly that. So I don't know, we can figure out how to
I'm
integrate it.
not on Facebook,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Maybe-
so you'll just port it over to the website?
Yeah, we can put all the main stories, we can definitely create a blog where we put, so there's two things I do on Facebook. I share, other posts, like Bruce Slater's post, and I share that, but then I put stories, I put like welcome to Bolton stories, but then also kind of like what we did for the Common, those type of stories. So, I mean,
But what about stories like, look at the high technology stuff that's going on at Paragon?
yeah,
And do a story about that so that businesses looking at Bolton and thinking of coming in, maybe doing some
I mean,
high-end manufacturing, some high-tech stuff.
we can put them there, yeah, it's fine, we can put them in both places, but, I mean, those types of stories is what I'm always asking people to write, or, any type of idea, so it's fine to put it on Facebook and, that, and it's fine on Facebook to link to that, so, that's good, yeah, definitely, and if there's any stories like that you wanna write, just go do it, 'cause
No, my idea was to have an established process that businesses would know about, that businesses in Bolton would know about, that there's a monthly blog about a business each and every month about what we do and so on and so forth, and that
that's exactly
they get
what
excited about that, and they may even clamor for you to do their business next.
That's exactly what I was intending to do on Facebook, but
Okay.
it's fine it would be great to expand it out on that too, to do both.
If we could just
Yeah.
make sure, if
Yeah.
we're gonna commit to doing 1 or 2 a month, that'd
Yeah.
be great, but, it's all
Yeah,
about
it's tough to
people's
commit, yeah.
availability.
Yeah,
Sure.
I wouldn't
I
commit
think
to
it's-
that.
I was gonna volunteer to do an interview and a 300 or 400 thing once a month.
Well, that's what I
That's
would-
great, I would love that.
It's already
But
I think it's great that you
That's
do that.
already what
redundancy built into.
We're already doing that, so if there's a business you wanna
It's
do.
good.
No, but you can add, if you wanna add more to it, I think
Yeah,
that's great, that's what
exactly.
Eric's saying,
Yeah.
absolutely do
Yeah.
it. I don't like being a wordsmith, I can be when I wanna
Yeah.
be, but
Yeah.
that's not a favorite thing about it.
That's
If you want
definitely
to,
the
feel
intent
free,
of the stories
it'd
you
be
make.
great.
Yeah, that's definitely the intent of the stories on Facebook, but I think it would be fine too to create a blog on there and have them in both places. And one feeds the other, so if some people look at that site versus one the other, the more eyes, the better. But that's totally the intent of the Facebook page, was to do those type of stories, and so Amy actually, she just wrote a story for the
Oh, yeah, essential oils.
Essential oils,
Yeah.
and she wrote a story for an in-home business, studio at 16, it's like a wellness type, and she said then she's gonna write a story for Hair by Terry. So Amy's
That's
been
great, good, good.
busy doing that while you guys are working on the website, so definitely put it on the website, link to it on Facebook, and actually it's kind of cleaner if Facebook links to a link, because otherwise it's this long story, they have to click read more and it's all there, so it looks actually better on Facebook, and it would get more viewers to the website if Facebook just linked to a story on the site, so it's fine if it originates there. I think it probably works better that way.
QR code supposed to go somewhere?
It's conservation areas and hiking trails, that's a QR code for it.
I know. It's supposed to go there.
I tested it.
You tested it?
I tested it, worked. It went to the trails. I definitely verified it. See if it works.
I'm glad you did that.
I have a QR reader.
He does.
Yeah. Doesn't that go? I checked.
Try it like
And in terms of the EDC site, I mean, we're still working on content, we're still working on links that don't work, and we're actually meeting after this meeting to sort of wrap up what we've done so far.
Yeah, so
Hopefully we'll have some of our changes for Lisa at the end of this
right.
month.
So one
Or
thing
first
is,
round.
I think definitely getting everybody involved, but I think the only reason why we can't launch right now with the website is because there's so much bad information. So I don't even mind if we just do these businesses, just let's get the website out there, you know, not, you know, just let's get, what we get out there, let's get it right and get it launched.
Actually,
And
for the
then-
businesses, I think that we shouldn't be maintaining the businesses at all. In the end, we should get a contact and an email from everybody who wants to go on. And we put them on the first time, but after that, we need the process of the automatic. Because
I don't know, I don't even
Well,
know if that
we do
application's
have
even
a-
set up though.
We have a master business list that can be.
That's an
trans-
Excel sheet though, right?
Yeah, but it can be transformed into a database, and that could feed.
Yeah, but
Website.
here's what I'm saying is, you should opt in, everybody, okay? To make sure you get an email, Eric, okay? We need to have a process by which we're not maintaining this for the rest of our lives.
And that's my biggest
Yeah.
concern, is
Yeah.
we are gonna be
And
maintaining
do
it.
it
I don't think
properly
we have
and
a formal process.
efficiently,
Yeah.
you know?
Erica's still struggling to maintain the list, and she's full-time here,
By the
that's my
way,
point.
If you
She
get the
doesn't-
opt-in going and you get moving on it, you self-maintain Erica's list and do her,
Yeah,
help
for
her
sure.
with her job.
Yeah.
So this is just a thing to help her
Yeah,
on top of
definitely,
it.
definitely.
Keep it maintained. Somebody drops off and they don't answer, they drop off and they don't answer. Somebody comes in new, they go to the site, they say, you're a new business, you click here to submit your thing. We go in, we validate them, we have their information, boom, they're in. Erica gets them fed in. She can download an Excel sheet and automatically do it. But that's definitely, like you were saying, something that we should be focused on when we're doing this, because
Yeah.
that'll be the easiest way. So each one of these businesses
Yeah.
should have an opt-in
Yeah.
email sent to them and say, who's the person who's gonna be your contact? We'll send you an email next
Yeah.
year letting you know if you still wanna be here.
Yeah.
And that's it. Once a year. And it'll be easy. You go out once a year and you're done, and
That's fine.
it'll maintain it all. So, like, you know.
I just don't want us to make it harder than
Yeah.
what it is. I just want to get these businesses on here now, and I don't have another month and a half to send out a letter to these people to have
I'm
them
not saying a
reply
letter,
back
it's
to
an
me.
email.
Still, I gotta track down an email address. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already spent months trying to work on
You
this.
probably already have the email in the Excel sheet
We
that I
do have
remember
most
having.
busy.
Most of them,
So,
yes.
yeah.
Most of them.
Just, I mean,
I just think it's gonna be,
yeah, I mean, we just have to, we have a lot of people,
We
so
can
it's good.
start here.
I think
We
we'll start
start
there.
here, we have our initial list, and then we can always.
I'll tell you what,
That's-
I go
let's just
to
always do
probably
this.
80% of these businesses each week. I'll
Yeah.
ask the manager that I see each week for an email
Like you were
address.
saying,
Yeah.
we're all volunteers, there's only so much time.
Yeah, and we need to get this site up and running and
Yeah.
cleaned up. If we start
Yeah.
adding more, like
Yeah, we
42
can keep
layers
on-
of stuff,
you
we're not
know,
gonna get it up.
It's not 42 layers, it's one layer of authentication, guys, and it's something that maintains something going down the road.
Let's get a
We
clean
are
thing to
volunteers.
launch and then we can keep on adding to it. That's all I can
It
say.
has nothing to do with that.
So moving on, well, we're gonna meet, the subcommittee will meet after here to talk a little bit more, so. Which is Rick, Larissa, and Chris. It's good to have subcommittees, because then people can work outside of quorums. Welcome sign update. I don't know if,
I saw the reinforcement.
it's been
pictures. Look
reinforced,
good.
actually.
Looks really good.
What do people think? Have you seen the solar panel?
I haven't seen the lighting, I know, I mean, I haven't seen this, I haven't paid attention to it.
Well, look next time I think it looks too big and it's kind of distracting to the sign, that's my opinion. I
Okay,
don't know if we can put it some other place, but we'll see what other people think.
okay, I'll take a
That's
look.
it.
Yeah.
It's fairly good size, I don't.
This is solar panel?
Yeah,
It's like on the top behind me, welcome to Bolton. I wish you could put it some other place.
yeah.
It's gotta face south, though.
Huh?
It's gotta face due south. or
Well, it does
else
face
it's not
south, but, so there's not much to say about that. So we kind of talked about Cobham already. When we talked to Cobham, we talked about TIF agreements and we talked about the abandoned building, which they qualify for because it's been abandoned for 5 years, so they were happy to get that information and get added to their marketing. Facebook posts. So every time, like we were saying, every time I write a story, I get 3 to 5 more likes. You know, so the more original stories, not just shares. Like, you know, for instance, that story you just said, you know, talking about Paragon. Every time you do it, it gets more likes. So if anybody ever has any story or anything they want to write, you know, just feel free. So at Skinner, I don't know if you've heard about
It
this.
was, last time you were here, it was residential, right? They were considering over there?
Right, but actually there's coming before the planning board on Wednesday is a potential buyer. They're called Environmental Pools. They do like high-end, like gunite-based pools and all that.
Okay.
But they have a website if you want to look it up, Environmental Pool. They're in Chelmsford right now. So they're coming to talk to the planning board. Seems pretty serious, so that's good.
Yeah, Rick did say that he had a few,
Yeah.
not just that one, he has a few people very interested. So,
Yeah.
We're putting in a gunite pool, actually.
Yeah. So that's good, so that's moving. I guess there's a potential, not,
That's great.
for 713 Main Street, which I kind of wish that we could renovate that whole thing, you know, update the buildings, but the owner is not really doing too much with it. But they have a potential renter, some antique shop, you know, to go where the lamp store was, I believe, or to go to the red building, I believe, the one next to
I mean, even if they just painted
Well,
that
that looks
building,
like
I mean,
That's what
I'll
I-
buy the paint if they just provide the painter.
Screw
I'm
it.
serious.
I know.
I mean,
It's a shame, like,
I mean, one coat of paint would look, well, it needs a prime.
the barn in the back is too far gone, but
Oh,
if
yeah.
those buildings could get renovated and repurposed, you know, that would be
Did they put
awesome.
an X on the barn in the back yet? Did they put
Yeah,
the X on
there is
it?
an X.
Yeah, they were talking about doing it, so that's
And
the
it's,
kiss of death for that.
it's such an eyesore, those two buildings. It's
And they have so much potential though, too. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
They could be really nice buildings.
Yeah.
You know?
So the current owner, I guess he's not in town, and
It's like in Florida, right? Or something like that? Or?
no, that's the Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
I
Didn't that
believe,
sell?
huh?
718?
No, it's the same owner, and he's in Florida, and he's still talking about the store, but
I thought that it sold to that guy who came in here that one time, or did that fall through? The
no,
Cracker Barrel?
it's the same owner. It's been.
No.
You know there was talk
As far
about
as
a
I know,
convenience
it's still
store,
active.
right?
I mean, ultimately, the problem with both those properties is
Sign
parking,
gone?
parking, public water, public sewer. So,
I thought it sold.
yeah.
So is that antique store really good? They're just considering it at this
I
point?
mean, it's a rental.
Okay.
You know, it'd be nice to have something.
Maybe they'll spring for the paint.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to have some restaurant or something, you know, some country store, you know, in that area around the common, you know, something a little more
You
complimentary.
could do a country store there, because
Like
that
a
wouldn't
Cracker Barrel.
require,
Right, you'd have to have
any
freezing food
facilities
or
and stuff.
Yeah.
So, maybe get away, parking would be an issue.
Septic, no biggie.
Yeah, well, tight tank, no
Tight
big.
tank.
We already
About
have
to
a
buy
tight
some
tank
up.
at 718, there's 2 of them,
I know, right at
that's a
that.
nightmare.
Yeah.
So the only other, so the planning board right now is, on Wednesday, we're gonna have a big discussion on the, on the cottage overlay district. We have a couple of builders coming in, we have the realtor for Skinner, we have the Doug Story coming in, who's on the housing authority in town. So we're gonna have a very big discussion on, you know, cottage overlay, affordable housing, you know, a whole discussion on that and how, you know. So we have a draft for the cottage overlay, which is a 2x density, and if you have a certain percentage affordable, you can have 4x. I mean, you get into how you're gonna handle the, you know, septic and all that stuff, so. But we do have a draft bylaw, and I would love to put it through, if there is a special town meeting, to put it through then, because, you know, I think somebody said, do we have any land big enough? On Hudson Road, there's a current 18-house development coming before us, and we suggested to them to look into cottage overlay, and that's like a 40-acre, you have like 40 acres there. So we're just trying to prevent all these single-family houses.
In cottage overlay, what is that exactly?
Well, like over, we would require over 55.
Okay, that's what,
Yeah.
okay, that's the
Yeah.
Of
over
a
55
percentage over 55 or
Or
the whole
all.
thing?
I think, I mean, we're throwing it all around, but we would say all, you know.
I'm.
It's tough to do like, you know, half is regular, single family, half is.
Yeah,
And then we're talking about, you know, potential like duplex style houses, because we don't currently allow that. So we're gonna have a very big discussion on Wednesday about what we want in there. And not only what the town wants, but what could sell in the area. You know, so if you're interested in dropping by,
What time?
it'll be Wednesday at 7:30.
Here?
Here, yeah. So it's gonna be a pretty big discussion.
This week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Pick me up.
Oh, yeah, well, I was just saying, you know, if you wanna come since the realtor
Yeah.
side of things.
Absolutely.
I can't go on, unfortunately, I would like to go.
But, you know, financially, I think, you know, I've discussed it many times. You know, the economic impact of 90% single-family homes. We want some diversity in housing, we want young people out of school, we want people to be able to graduate from, you know, the McMansion to a, over 55 community, and that's, if we can't get business, that's the next best thing, because that's definitely a positive, you know, to the budget. So.
Yeah, I agree, if it's not bringing in a ton more kids, that's
Right.
positive.
I mean, you can't completely ban kids, but, you know.
We're not talking, it's not gonna bring.
This isn't
over
China.
55, yeah. One
No.
kid per person.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, but if you say like the, you know, the primary owner has to be 55, you know, you will
It's
drastically.
more like, yeah.
It's worked well up at the Regency,
Yeah.
you know, those are all full right now, I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure, yeah.
I think.
So
we
what's
should
your,
understand.
which, as a realtor, what's your opinion of over 55? Do you think this area can handle more, or?
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, what's the price range, 400,000?
I think it's 4 to 5.
Yeah.
yeah.
But anything.
At the Regency, they're full. I think there's one for sale. There's been a couple so far this year, and they go like that.
Do you know how many other kids in there? Very minimal, right?
No,
None? It's not allowed, or?
There's
No.
not a one.
Yeah.
No.
no. And part of the deal is,
Yeah.
none under 18. So
Okay.
there's like no impact in the schools.
Yeah, right. So that's what we would do, and so the builders for that one on Hudson Road were like, you know, to sell the house, they were kind of skeptical of over 55, because they didn't know what the area can handle, but I think they just wanted to do what they wanted to do, really.
Well, but the thing is, look how pretty the Regency is.
Yeah.
If you want that
Yeah.
kind of money, you have to have that kind of pretty.
And how, I mean, is it close to the highway, the location of this other place that you're?
Well, it's right on 85.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay then.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
it's good.
Okay.
It's a great location. You
Okay.
could shoot right down to Hudson. You know,
Okay,
it's a great
great.
location.
Okay.
Shopping down there.
Perfect.
You know, it's a perfect location, I think. You know, so the Fosford plan, so the original plan is 2 acres plot. Fosford is when so you make your original plan, and then you take that number of houses and you put it in 1 acre lots, and then the rest of the land, a certain percentage becomes open space. So we would take that Fosford plan of 1 unit per acre and automatically double it, so 2 units per acre. And then if you had, we were saying 20% affordable, you can go up to 4x per acre, you know? 'cause-
That's really increasing somebody's profitability on the,
Right, so in order to get the affordable housing, you have to make it worthwhile to the
Yeah.
developer, so.
yeah.
So when you have a plan like that, is it going to be shared septic systems, or is it going to be?
Right,
you know,
builder has to,
like
it'll probably have to be.
Yeah, it'd be like Title 5 or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
It would have,
Shared.
if you have 4x per acre, there's no way you can have.
I mean, we have shared septic in our
Yeah.
development,
Yeah.
and we're,
Yeah.
like, we have 3 homes.
I don't know if
septic.
you'd group them, or you'd have one global sewage
Because
treatment.
On Sugar Road, the corner of Sugar Road and Golden Run, that new little
Yeah,
subdivision
yeah.
is putting in there, is some shared septics.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's not doing well.
right. I mean, well, first
Is
of
it the
all,
price point, or?
I think those are priced high, and I think it just
Oh,
looks awful right
Well,
now.
actually, you know what's really funny? I hear this.
Construction zones.
Well, I also think that that farm look that they're going for isn't really aesthetically attractive to most people these days. They want something a little more sophisticated looking, kind of like the one down
Well,
here.
like
The
your neighborhood or Northwoods.
Yeah, just, I mean, no,
Beautiful neighborhood.
yeah, and even the over 55 community down here, it just looks better than the ones over here.
Mm.
over
Well,
at
and
Sugar
also, it's a
Road.
construction zone. Who, I mean, and it's just
Yeah.
the start, so who would wanna live
It's not
there?
pretty, yeah.
When it's done, maybe, but
Mm.
It's a little close to the road, it feels.
yeah.
It is, yeah.
And it's weird, because you have all this land and there's 4 houses like
Yeah, they
Right on the
started, they
road.
started right there.
Right there.
Yeah, and they're tight too.
Like if they were in the back where
We
it's
should have
just,
started further
Yeah.
back.
yeah.
It's a good point.
Moved it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden your neighbors come, and they're right
Yeah,
there.
you drive by and
Surprise!
I don't think, I mean, I don't think it shows well. I mean, just from my perspective, it's like, just,
Well, there's no privacy, because
Yeah.
No, and it's right next to the highway too.
Yeah.
You can,
You look
I mean,
right
you
down.
see it from the highway, you're looking right in.
This time of the year, when it gets
Flood.
wet,
Yeah,
my
That
God,
area
the field
floods.
always flooded.
yeah, that's what I wonder, it's always flooded there. What are they gonna do with that
It was
water?
always flooded.
Yeah, yeah, that was like a marsh, like what are they gonna do with that water, I don't know.
I would,
But the only issue, and I know the Regency extremely well, because my father lives there and he was involved in it, the only issue they had on theirs, and just be cautious of this, was the the affordable housing was very, very difficult to fill. In fact, that was the thing that they never filled until the very, very end. They couldn't
and that was
fill
because of credit
The
issues.
problem
because
is,
of people having too much assets and
Too
not
much
qualifying.
the problem
Just
is,
bad credit, right?
No, it had nothing to do with credit. The worse credit, the better. It's the opposite. It's if you have just the minimalist of assets, it seems, the criteria to qualify for them is brutal.
there was a
So,
very small window of
Yeah.
people that qualified for it, but then also couldn't get a
But
mortgage.
then also
Yeah.
can afford it.
Yeah.
it was really.
Because it's still
I mean, even in Bo-
150,000.
even in Boston, with all the new construction that they do there, and the only reason why I know this is we have friends in the city, and in my development, we had 2 affordable units there, but when they first built our development and we moved into in Boston, they struggled finding those 2 people because no one was passing the credit check. Their credit was terrible.
Yeah.
So they sat empty like for over 6 months to a year till they found someone who was credit worthy to actually secure.
And they gotta be over 55. And you don't go through, it's very hard to find somebody over 55 who hasn't gone
Who
through
has
life.
nothing.
And
Yeah, who has nothing,
Right.
nothing
And
at all.
can afford
Yeah.
$200,000.
So, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I
so,
gotcha.
I mean, it's like.
That's kind of, that's the coin toss.
Yeah, it was a real coin toss on that, so I don't know how that, when you guys are talking about it, because I don't know how I'll make it, but
So that's
just
one
keep that in
thing,
mind.
that's one thing I want to talk about at that Wednesday meeting with the planning board is, because right now we sit at, I think it's 3.5% affordable. And if you're not at 10%, any 40B can come in and take whatever property they want, residential, business, industrial, and put a 40B on there. So, we're really susceptible to that. So, I definitely want to push the planning board to find ways to get more affordable, whether it's with this cottage overlay or, maybe we need an apartment building somewhere. I don't know.
The property right next to the highway over here, they want to be the truck stop. There you go, be great tax
That's
base.
what- I mean,
1-bedroom apartments.
right,
There you go.
Yeah.
where you won't have any
Yeah,
kids.
one
I mean,
Yeah, perfect.
I'm not sure what
On and
people
off.
of Bolton
On
feel
and off
about
right there.
that.
People who live and work in Marlboro or.
I mean, they'd probably be very hesitant, but we really do need diversity in housing. I mean, we need
Yeah.
1-bedroom apartments. We
I
need,
think it'd be great.
we need people coming out of all the colleges in the area to, buy an apartment, and then when they're gonna have kids, they graduate to a house, So you have these apartments that are giving, improving the tax base,
They're all over the highway on 95. I
Yeah.
mean, they're all over the place on the tech belt. I mean, they're
Yeah.
everywhere. This is
Right.
one particular development. Every other week, every other few months, is like a
Right.
huge new building going up.
You know,
I'm like, how
so
do
I-
you get
and,
on this
and
property?
so and so
And they're
then
renting.
if you're building an apartment building, you could really help out your affordable,
Yeah, yeah.
So what's going on with Camp Virginia? Is that, are you aware of any direction that's going in, or?
So
Yeah,
right now,
Virginia's
right
one.
now there's
Is that the
a,
Girl Scouts?
Yeah.
Girl Scout camp.
Yeah.
So they wanna sell it.
Whatever it is.
they want to sell it, they have an appraisal,
Right now.
I know.
they have an appraisal for 1.3 million, based on fitting like 11 or 12 houses in there. And there's a group that's investigating if the town should buy it, there's like a $400,000 grant, so even,
Even after
we're
the-
still gonna have to pay 8 or
800,000.
9. I can't imagine that the town,
I don't want to buy
I
that.
can't imagine the town would ever approve it, so I don't even know why it's being discussed. I mean, the only reason, if you really want to think long term, 20 years from now, after we paid the $900,000 and the land is open space, and you don't have 12 single-family homes that are a detriment to the tax base, but people aren't gonna think that far out, they're just gonna think $900,000, So I can't imagine it ever gets approved.
But there's a pond on the.
What about
Yeah.
overlay there? If there's a pond there, you have to run on a pond.
It's,
Yeah.
it's got a beach, it's got a pond, it has a
There you
lot of
go.
buildings,
Fantastic.
So that's
recreational
exactly what, I mean, that's what I was gonna
A
say.
nice big,
This
huge,
is-
No, it does.
housing
So,
development.
It might be
overlay.
more than just, it's not open space per se. There
But
might
if
be
you do
more
a
to it.
phosphor development, 30 to 50% of it will still be open space, you know?
Yeah, but it won't be a beach accessible to the town for a town
No.
beach.
But we already have Bolton Beach, Bolton Town.
We have a Bolton
We
Beach.
lease that, you know.
Oh, we do?
We don't
The
own
Boy
that.
Scouts, right?
Yeah, that's okay though. I
So we
posted
don't own
them
that,
there.
we can't build things on it, we can't put in bathrooms, we can't, you
That's
know.
okay.
So,
Still, I mean,
so there's two sides to the coin there. I don't know that I'm ready to throw it out. I don't know that I'm ready to accept it, but I'm willing to listen. If there's a group willing to go and look and do the research,
so that's
I'd
what's
say
going
more
on.
power to
That's what's
them
going on, and they're gonna,
and figure it out.
they're gonna get, I think they paid like $3,000 to get an appraisal, and they're gonna look into applying for grants. You know,
And the Girl Scouts, I think, are very willing to work. They are not looking to go around. They're selling a lot of properties, by the way. This isn't the only one. They're looking, they actually may want to still use the property and lease it back from the town, is part of it too. They just don't want to be in the business of owning properties anymore, and they're trying to, you know, get rid of a lot of their properties. So it could be interesting what comes out of it, and I think that the initial appraisal will probably come way down and some other things,
I mean,
so.
the town common, I understood why the town voted the way they did, because of all the work that had been put done in it. It was, you know, it's the town common. I can't imagine $1 million purchase passing the climate in town.
Oh, no, I don't. think
Considering we just
so.
spent $200,000 on the town common, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's $12 a year.
Right. I mean, like I said, if you look long-term, people could make the argument that by it being open space, you know, you prevent it from being single-family homes. But if we could put it in the cottage overlay,
I'd be more than happy for it, yeah.
Well, I was
absolutely.
thinking along the lines.
We get some
of
retail
really
businesses in
beautiful
there, too.
55 north community.
We don't know what the town could do with it after they get it.
You know,
They're not
high-end-
buying it for conservation land, Rick, so remember,
What?
they could buy it and do something else. You could buy it, you could sell
Oh,
off
that's
pieces,
never
you could
gonna
do some things.
yeah.
There's a lot of different things that they could do with it. if
So
they
one
do
thing,
it.
one thing we'll discuss is where, you know, should the overlay be all residential? Should we pick certain properties? We're definitely gonna pick that one on Hudson Road. We were gonna do the Skinner property, which maybe we'll still do, but, you know, it looks like there's potential buyers now, so, you know. But I think that's about it.
I mean, I think you gotta be careful not to get in be cautious about like spot zoning these,
Well, if we can't,
these overlays all over the place.
well, the thing is, we
picking
can't
and
pick,
choosing
we can't
winners.
pick, you know, just one or two spots. We have to pick a few spots.
Yeah.
We can't, spot zoning is just one spot, but we can pick a few spots, you know, and I would suggest that that's one of them, the Girl Scout camp, you know. Or we could say anything over, you know, any parcel of land over 10 acres and residential, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be better with that than giving it.
So the other thing on planning board is, we have a list of probably like 20 to 30 potential, this time of year, we have like a list of 20 to 30 potential articles, you know, thinking towards May. Things like, yeah, I brought up a lot of them, you know, increasing the density of the business properties, because people are like, oh, what residential are going to turn to business? You don't have to do that, you just go from 8 to 12%, you increase your potential, you know, utilization of that land by half. So, something else I brought up is making 713 and Cracker Barrel limited business zones, so you increase the opportunity there. Talking about parking, because that's one issue with the Cracker Barrel. Right, we have actually kind of crazy parking bylaws where, you know, you're required to have tons of parking. I think we brought this up last meeting, so. You're required to have so much more parking than you can imagine. It just seems, I don't know why people would want it, and I don't know, you know, it's not helpful to businesses. So there's a huge list of things that we're gonna talk about in planning board, but I think that's it. for
I want to
today.
give you a quick update though. I reached out to Karen Regan just to find out where she was at
Oh, okay.
on her sort of effort around the Veterans Day banners,
Yeah.
effort that she was working on.
Oh, okay.
So far, she's raised $400. She's actually working with Linda Day and Pam Powell on sending, I think it's, yeah, Pam Powell in the town office here, and sending out a letter to everyone in town who is a veteran to get some sort of an idea of demand because she's only raised $400 and each banner costs $20 to make essentially.
Really?
And yeah, it does, yeah.
Never realized that.
Yeah, it does. And then, you know, based on demand, she'll let us know, you know, where she's at from a next step standpoint. But she also wanted to find out from us, have we secured SEL approval for the banners?
What's that? What approval?
She wanted to know, we already secured selectman approval of
Oh,
that
No,
banners.
no, they'd have to have the design.
Okay, so we need the design first,
Yeah.
okay. And then we also talked about doing it ourselves too. We already approved the purchase of the brackets. I'm just wondering, I know it's another effort that we need to tackle, but from a cost standpoint, it's $200 a piece. That's, if we were to buy 10 of the brackets are at 40.
Yeah, the back is.
So $250 a piece.
Well, we would handle the hardware,
Right, but we also talked about buying our own for for the town too, if you remember.
our own.
Banners
Yeah.
for the town of Bolton. I'm just wondering, you know, where we are.
That seems like a crazy price to me. I can't imagine that. Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think, Mark? Is that right? $200 a banner's all right?
How big
I
are
don't
they?
know.
2 feet by 2 feet 6 by 5 feet.
What? Say it
2
again?
feet 6 by 5 feet.
By 5 feet?
Yeah.
That's way bigger than we were picturing. We were picturing
That's
something
what,
like
that's what
that.
she said. That's what her banner sizes are, that she's
Oh,
actually.
well, we're not.
We can probably
That's
do it smaller.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
That's way too big.
I was thinking more like
To
2
put on the
feet 6
poles?
by 4.
3 feet by 6
That
feet?
doesn't strike me as big. If
No.
you're in.
But once you're looking up though, you have to remember.
It's not that big.
That's
It's
huge.
not that big.
No.
It's a standard flag that you fly on your flagpole.
It's 3 by 5.
Right.
Yeah.
FYI, it's the
And
same
remember, it's
size
gonna
as
be way
standard
up there on a
flag.
telephone
But the
pole.
ones in Littleton, which I was envisioning, are kind of just like.
But do you know
What's
for
it
sure,
called?
have you taken a
Probably
tape
not.
measure up on?
Get out of your car
Exactly.
and take a good look, and you'll
It's
be like,
probably, oh wow,
whoa,
yeah,
wait a
it probably is.
They're probably 14 feet up.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's what we were
Yeah.
thinking size-wise for brackets, so. Yeah, I actually had a few
do you
emails.
remember what the size of the bracket was?
2 feet 6 by 50 for hers. Yeah.
No, the
I
size
mean,
No,
of
the
the
size
bracket.
of your bracket.
Yeah.
The ones that I
Didn't
priced
you
out,
have a bracket at one point?
I had priced out a whole bunch from
Yeah.
them. The actual, it's really determined by the width. I mean, you
Yeah.
can go as far as you want in terms
Yeah,
of
'cause
height,
you mount
because you just
wherever.
mount them wherever.
I thought it was more like a foot.
But it's 30 inches wide,
Yeah,
Was
which
it
is
30?
standard.
I remember
yes,
that, yes,
absolutely.
that's standard.
And then it's, you know, however feet you want it in
Yeah.
length.
I remember that being.
But to clarify the banner cost, I think for the design, it's $50, for the print is $150. But if we were to design the same exact ones for the EBC board to go straight down the street, we're only gonna pay a one-time design fee of $150 for each banner.
Oh, because each banner has to be an
Has its own-
individual.
Correct, yes, because there she was,
I've
exactly.
actually personally grown a little cold on the idea, just because the poles are so ugly, and I can't, you know, like the flags look good, the American flags, but I don't know, all these non-uniform poles. I'm just.
Well, they're not
They would
gonna
look.
change.
It would look. Yeah, right. It would look so much better on like the antique lamplight type
Oh,
poles.
yeah, absolutely, but dare to dream.
Oh, well, let's
Yeah, dare to dream.
Get out of the sewer district and
Yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah.
bury the pipes and the wires.
I had an email or two of people who were actually against it and didn't want it. You know, they thought it would not look good.
The banners?
Yeah,
Yes.
the banners.
I hadn't.
But we're never gonna please everybody.
Yeah.
You're not gonna please everybody.
Yeah.
So I've cooled a little bit on it, but we have money in the account, so if Karen wants to drive it, we can definitely put money towards the brackets. I don't know how much time we have to spend on it, and I don't know where she is. It sounds like she has more work to do.
She's just working on demand at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
The letter's going out, the
So
letter's
we'll
already
see-
drafted, it's going out
We'll
this week.
see where she gets,
Okay.
because I don't think we have the time to be doing that right now.
No, it's a call to fall effort,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
have time to.
But the
Don't
one,
be asking me to hang them in December.
What do you
I'm
mean?
just telling you right now, Rick.
I know.
And there.
so
No, we already got you, lined up for the.
I was
release.
on the first crew, and it was
Yeah.
bitter cold that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
Those
it's pricey.
poles
You did a great job with the wreaths this year.
God, there's
You know,
more
I thought they looked really
staples,
good.
nails.
For some reason, they seemed like they were much lower than the
Amazing
year
how much
before
stuff
last,
is on
even though
the
Helene said something otherwise. I kind of think they were much higher last year instead of this year.
Yeah, I think they were lower this year.
Yeah, they looked,
They got lower.
they were just much more.
so we won't meet again until September, but we'll continue to do.
Squish, squish.
Huh?
Squish, squish.
Unless people want to meet, but I don't think they.
We're probably gonna meet a couple of.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, I'm gonna continue doing Facebook stuff,
Yeah.
stories, everything, we can work just fine. There's no reason to meet over the summer, it'd be too hard to get people on vacation and stuff
I'm
like
going
that.
fishing.
Yeah, so we'll meet in September, but the other thing that I've been talking about doing, and maybe I can get hope from some people is I want to do this virtual farmers market thing, like really contacting the farms. They're very, I know that Teresa's trying to do stuff, and maybe she's listening, trying to do stuff with
We see
the ag.
like having our own farmers market?
No, just like on
Okay.
Facebook saying, oh, at Shatner Farm, this is available this week at, Bolton, or, saying each farm, what's available, and I would love if the farms could say, well, this year we're trying something new with this,
Well, I think a lot of farms
Really-
individually post what they're doing each week. I know,
Yeah.
I know
Well,
the
so that
winery
one thing-
does. They have like a whole schedule,
Right.
a whole summer.
Well, so that's the winery, but I was talking more like the smaller farm, like Bolton Spring and stuff. I look at their Facebook page and the last post is like 2012 or something.
Okay, good to know.
That's good to know.
I know Bolton Orchards are, but,
I figure, if you're gonna have a presence, you should be maintaining.
but one thing I was, we have
Yeah,
close,
sure, I maintain.
we have close to 400 followers now, and usually if I get a good post, I share it to the community as well, and other people do. But if it was one location that would list every farm and what's available this week, and just because farms are part of the business landscape in town, so that's one thing over the summer. I'm going to try to get it a little bit more.
Why don't we have a real farmer's market?
We could have it right in our parking lot over right here at the.
They've been talking about doing
That would
it
be
in the common.
fantastic, yeah.
I think
absolutely.
actually it might be
It
planned for
would
this
be
summer.
great.
Have you been to the one in Harvard? That's a huge.
Yeah, I always go to
Yeah.
Harvard. Yeah, it's
The
a very
plan is to do it on the
right.
common.
There's a few people that do the Harvard one, and it's a year-round.
They work all the time.
They work all the time on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hudson's got
shows.
one too.
Yeah. It's a huge effort,
Yeah.
and they have musicians there, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of the common, I did my first walkthrough today, just so you know. I haven't been there since it was started construction. Are we ever gonna put in sidewalks or?
The plan is to pave all the sidewalks.
Okay, all right,
But they're letting them settle because
okay.
they don't want to pave and leave the town with a crappy sidewalk that
Gotcha,
falls apart.
okay, all
And
right.
we still have some more digging and some more things to put in, and we're
Okay.
still working on the,
Okay.
But it
getting
looks so
pipes
nice.
in and stuff, and we just planted some apple trees.
I noticed the plantings over there, that I was like, happy to see that.
Steve Schneider, our local tree expert,
Arborist.
arborist, has graciously helped Dan and I not hopefully kill the trees, but when we put them in. So one of them fell over. You didn't notice that.
One thing I always thought would be great is kind of how, like in the fall, a farmer's market / a real Bolton fair. With
Why don't you send an email to Meg?
Well, the one thing when I kind of talked to her is the Bolton 5K, they were kind of thinking maybe that is our sort of Bolton fair, because there's been, I don't know if you've been, but it's kind of like a little festival atmosphere.
Yeah, but I mean, farmer's market during the summer,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that they would be opposed at all for you sending out to all the farms
Yeah.
to organize a farmer's market.
I mean,
Yeah,
doing a
that's
weekly,
not a one-time thing.
Yeah, it's a weekly thing.
It's a weekly thing, it's not like a fair.
That's not a
Yeah,
one-time
yeah.
thing, that's a weekly thing to
doing a
offer.
weekly thing is tough. I was just thinking we should at least have a one-time fall kind of festival.
A farmer's market, the way a
September.
farmer's market
It's every
typically
week.
works is, the farmers who are going to sell their stuff, Eric, show up with their tent and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Set all their stuff up, and
No, I
everybody comes in
understand.
and buys
Yeah,
their
I
stuff.
understand,
Yeah.
that's a huge coordination effort. And
Who
I mean, there's a group of people in Harvard that,
They just
I mean,
do it.
how big is that farmer's market though?
they don't
Is
just
like-
do it.
Like
There's
a lot of
people who
acres
get
or?
vendors.
I'm not
and
talking about
advertising.
putting, I'm not
huge,
talking
or-
about putting musicians on and
Yeah.
More traditional.
jugglers and things. I'm talking about
A farmer's market.
Billy Vaddis, instead of selling it on his truck at the end of his road, being able to come down and
Well,
sell
they-
it at the common.
well, right.
I'm talking about the other
That
local,
would be great.
Teresa being able to come down, because she does, I think, some farming and stuff, being able to come down
Well, so
and
she's
have
the
a place.
chairman of the AgCom, so.
And
if they
actually,
don't do
she's
that-
listed, she can do it. I think the common would be very open to
I
allowing
think
the
it'd be
farmer's
great.
market
And-
without any
And
problem.
my idea is, if that could get going, it would be great for the EDC if a couple businesses wanted to set up a table or something, to get in on it, that would be good too.
I think they can just show up and set up a table.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think it should be an ad hoc thing, that if people
Yeah.
want to do a farmer and
Yeah.
let it
Keep it
build
simple.
from
Yeah,
there.
exactly. I
Keep
mean,
it simple, stupid, yes,
yeah.
principle to it, you
I mean,
know?
when we lived in Boston and in Jamaica Plain, every weekend, during the whole summer, back in the Bank of America parking lot.
Yeah,
A farmer's market would just materialize.
yeah.
And it was like four
That's true,
trucks
I mean,
pulled
if-
up, they just put out all their stuff and literally, it was
If
like
we
clockwork.
just communicated with AgCom and just said, and
the
talk to
farmers.
Meg
Yeah,
and say, hey, can we,
talk to the,
maybe one table sets up, maybe 5 set up,
Yeah.
maybe it builds.
and if
Yeah.
it starts building, then they can put a sign out,
Yeah.
they can put a sign right in the front there saying farmer's market every Friday. guess what? Those farmers who normally sell on the side of the road and are not getting as much traffic, gonna sell a lot of stuff on a Friday
Yeah.
afternoon.
I'll talk to Teresa about it and see.
Just
Yeah,
line
yeah,
right up
yeah.
on 117, you don't
Yeah.
even have to get out of your
All you have
car.
to do
Yeah, there you go. Drive
Throw me a pumpkin!
Yeah, and since we talked about no traffic on 117, it's a great idea.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do it Friday at 5, for
Oh,
sure.
my God.
It just sounds like a
Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday, Saturday is just ideal. Saturday's
through. Anytime Thursday after 5 PM, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So, just continue emailing me throughout the summer if there's anything you want to do, because we'll continue doing stuff. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion.
All in favor?